Yo, this is the Elimination Chamber 2012, and this is our review. And I gotta say, it's pretty weird. It started out with the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match, which is I expect that to be the main event because it was like the most hyped up match in my opinion. What did you think?
I thought it was okay, but I think it could have been better. But I guess they did some stuff like that was cool, like that. Kofi Kingston actually jumped off the pod, you know.
Yeah, it was just like we said. Like Kofi Kingston was gonna do all that stuff. I was pretty surprised that R-Truth was the first one eliminated.
Yeah, the Miz and R-Truth didn't even get to like hit each other. And you expect them to,
You expect them to be something going on there. Other than that, it was alright. I mean, not much to say. It was a good match. Chris Jericho got knocked out, so you can't really say that they did a clean win. So that's like a good reason.
Actually get eliminated.
Yeah, that's like a good reason to move on with this. But that's all we got to say about that match. CM Punk retained.
Yeah, just like we expected.
Just like we expected.
Well, no, we'll do that later, I guess.
Yeah, Santino did some backstage promos, which were pretty cool. At first, I was like, "Oh, Eugene." Nope.
I know.
Nope. I love Eugene's song too.
I know. Made you think it was Eugene. I even said Eugene. Oh, great.
That's what we thought, but you know, it's just WWE doing nothing. Just like the First Clay song, whatever. They just refueled it.
Ernest the Cat Miller. They just reused songs.
Yeah, like the Money in the Bank theme. Cheapest song just thrown out there because they have it. Ended up being one of the best pay-per-views.
And the following match was a Divas was for the Divas title, and it was Beth Phoenix versus Tamina Snuka.
Yep, Tamina Snuka versus the champion, the Divas champion, Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a pretty good match.
It was pretty good. It was
like what I expected for a Divas match, like because everybody doesn't like the Divas division, and I understand, everything. It was
a pretty good Divas match if you didn't expect much, because you know that's kind of like, I guess they did it on purpose. They made you not expect much at all, and then out of nowhere they give you a pretty good match. It was a pretty good match.
They made Tamina look really good.
Yeah,
I believed it.
It made you think that Tamina was gonna win.
Yeah, but Beth kicked out of the Super Splash.
Yeah, and then she was going for another one after.
Yeah, she was gonna go for another one, go Super Splash. Yeah. But whatever, it's a Divas match. Beth Phoenix retained. Like you thought she was gonna win, and I thought too during the match. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so it's another title retained.
Right, it's whatever. And that's what we thought of that match. Pretty good. I thought it was a good match.
I guess.
But it needed a little more stuff, but it was good for what it was.
It was a good long.
Right.
The next segment was John Laurinaitis comes out. And then he says that how he wants to be like the general manager for both shows,
basically. And I think that's pretty cool, kind of.
And then what was surprising is that Alberto Del Rio returns, and then followed by Mark Henry, who he's always been wrestling, but he hasn't been in action lately.
Mark Henry was badass there, even though they were chanting "sexual chocolate." He was badass.
They were chanting.
I was like, I don't care. I saw him on SmackDown. I was like, Mark Henry. And then we also get
Christian.
He went out there and it was like, whoa, Christian.
With his Canadian beard and everything.
His Canadian beard. Looked like Edge's beard, kind of growing out his hair a little bit. Pretty cool. Or maybe just because he didn't, make it, whatever. But there's Christian. He was keeping it on the low pro. Everybody kind of liked his return. So it wasn't, that's why I understand why he wasn't really like, So
yeah, so the whole deal about this segment is that how they were saying that they would rather have John Laurinaitis be the general manager for both shows because of Teddy Long, how he hasn't been like reasonable with them, or like they find it that it's justified for him to do that.
And I guess that segment was worth the time, even though it was a pay-per-view, and I guess it hypens you up for Raw. So I guess it's passable. It's passable. All right, the world title
already.
The World Heavyweight Championship match. No, I was expecting it not to be like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't as good. It was okay, but I was already used to the first Elimination Chamber match in the beginning, so I wasn't like, oh well, I already knew it wasn't gonna be that good. But then again, it's just me.
No, on the other hand, I actually thought it was pretty entertaining because you have Big Show ripping the top of the pod, like he broke the chains off.
Yeah, and I thought that was a pretty good highlight. And Khali got
He was
eliminated right away with the spear.
Nah, he
It was
got
an
eliminated.
epic
Yeah,
spear,
that was a pretty. I guess it was an alright spear.
it was good.
He didn't sell it right, but it was okay. But yeah, I guess Khali, since he was the first person eliminated, made you think like, what the heck? It was Khali, you know? He's
Because Khali was his major chops of doom. But I think it was pretty cool that Khali was there, despite what people think about him. He's a great Khali. I remember when he first came out, the Undertaker's like, "Who is this guy? Who is he?" Whatever.
Yeah, and then what was really interesting too is that I actually thought that Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes would actually team up too, and they took down Big Show, but right after
Cody took out Big Show.
yeah,
Really
Cody took
good.
out Big Show, but right after that he got eliminated by Santino Marella.
And I guess this was pretty cool. You wouldn't expect Santino to go. Well, you didn't even expect him to be in the match.
You didn't expect anything from him, and he was on the top. He was on the top, like the last two people with him and Daniel Bryan were at the end. Made you believe. It kind of made you believe that Santino would win, but you forget that it's Santino. But still, it made you believe.
One thing is like the Milwaukee crowd was alright. It wasn't as good though. When Santino first came out, it was like Santino. But in the end, people were like, "Oh wait, you know what? We'll pull for this guy," and they did, and I thought that was pretty cool. The very end.
Yeah, and then Daniel Bryan kicks out from the Cobra. And one interesting thing, after Daniel Bryan retains another title retain, okay, Sheamus comes out, so that could mean that Sheamus is gonna pick him for for WrestleMania.
Even Michael Cole said, "Oh, he doesn't say it, but it's obvious,"
Yeah, we kind of you can predict that he'll choose the.
Kind of don't like the idea that Daniel Bryan is still a heavyweight champ, but then again, you can't have Big Show.
You gotta have some sort of.
Gotta have someone. I guess they should develop Daniel Bryan anyways. We need more stars instead of developed stars, because they're probably all old. And I understand that, and I do look forward for the future. And maybe it's in Daniel Bryan. Maybe it's WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan's gonna put up a main event show that he's wanted. But other than that, good match. I thought it was good. I like the Raw one better though. But that's just me though.
No, in my opinion, this one was better though.
Whatever. You should list your comments below. Tell us what you thought. Now we go backstage.
Yeah, so I guess Hornswoggle is eating cheese, and I guess just Justin Gabriel backs up Hornswoggle again.
Oh, not even. Wait, let me just add the stupid Natalia thing.
I know.
I can get if it's like an inside joke for the WWE or whatever they think of her or the Hart family. I mean, it's cool. I mean, just a waste of.
They're not gonna go anywhere with it.
They're not gonna go anywhere with it, and if they do, they take it back. But other than that, I don't think it's necessary. I'm not just whatever. We'll go on. Justin Gabriel was out there.
So Justin Gabriel backs up Hornswoggle. So then Ted Long sets up a match. Well, it was a U.S. title match. Jack Swagger versus Justin Gabriel. Now that match was alright, I guess. It was
the only unannounced match, but it was pretty good for what it was. But then again,
it was kind of short.
It makes sense to me too, because during the match I was like, well, Justin Gabriel kind of lost, but it's like he had a lot of wins earlier too. And I kind of did notice Justin Gabriel moving up a little bit.
Yeah.
Little momentum, but I could notice that guy. I'm like, you know what? I could see Justin Gabriel doing stuff. And then I noticed in SmackDown he would do these little things. Wasn't as good, but then in the pay-per-view he was doing all these flippy slips and la-di-la, loopy-loops, whatever.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that.
Good.
But
pretty good.
Yeah, but
During
then
the
again,
match he was in control. Jack Swagger. What do you do?
Yeah, I know, but it didn't make it seem the match didn't make it seem at all that Justin Gabriel was going to win. Kind of, but then again, he's from SmackDown.
I just don't like the fact that right when Jack Swagger's champ superstars, and I don't know, I don't like that fact at all.
I think he ends up tapping out too, and that was another successful. Another successful title retain again.
Exactly, that's another title retain. All right.
And now the main event, ambulance match with Kane versus John Cena.
Yep.
Now this match was agreeably long. It was I didn't even count it how long it was, but I think it was well over half an hour. And I guess it was pretty cool. They finally like throughout the whole match, it was like pretty boring. Even the crowd was chanting "boring." I'm pretty sure. Were they?
I don't think. I think it was in another match. I think it was the way better Big Show part. But you know what? Then you gotta think this. You really gotta care what the fans think and attendance, because it could be different what you think at your house. It's my opinion, but also it makes a big impact. If you hear the fans all cheering stuff, it makes a big difference. It's
Yeah.
just like people say JR's commentary. It does make a difference. He's exaggerating it. It makes you believe it. But Kane and John Cena's match, it was an okay match. I don't really like the fact that Kane and Cena feud is filler feud, whatever.
Yeah, but the only parts that I like is that they actually broke the Spanish announce table, which they haven't done in a while. So and that, you know, and the only thing, the other part that's been like that was more like at least kind of exciting, but it's predictable. The John Cena AA off the ambulance into just like some sort of I guess.
Yeah, but I also didn't like I did like it when he was like getting Kane and he slammed him on the wall, whatever. Dude, it was like they didn't sell that good, but I like the fact that he was hitting him with a wheelchair.
Yeah,
and it was like
they use
who hit someone with a chair, and then he hits him with a normal chair. It's like, oh yeah, it's just with wheels.
Yeah.
It's just it's a foldable chair. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
pretty thoughtful.
he gets someone's like from the audience.
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah, but like I thought it was pretty cool. The guy was happy and but it's a chair. That's what you do in wrestling. You fold a chair and you hit someone with it. And I was like, hey, that's classic wheelchair. Whoever thought?
yeah. So then Cena wins. So
Cena wins.
overall, the whole night it was all title retains. And
Everybody retained.
wasn't that how it was in the Royal Rumble also?
And a lot of other pay-per-views. Exactly. And WrestleMania wasn't it last year?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Too many title retains,
Which is fine. I mean, when you're champ, you gotta be champ for long. But
yeah,
it seems these days you just want everybody to be champ. You're just like, now that I remember I wanted CM Punk to be champ. Now that CM Punk's champ, you just want somebody else to be champ, which is not a good thing. You just want your champ to be the champ, and they need to look like the champ. Otherwise, if they don't look like the champ, you're like, gosh, he doesn't look like the champ.
Cody Rhodes, I beg to differ though. He looks like a champ, and like a couple more months, and he successfully holds the title for about a year. Maybe he can
but what's
break
a
the record.
champ without being with competition or whatever? You think Cody, no, Jack Swagger barely got any competition for the belt. I mean,
Yeah, I know he's on Superstars.
You finally get this United States Championship match, and Cody Rhodes hasn't had it. Well, yeah, the Booker T match, but think about it, there hasn't been so many intercontinental title matches, which is fine. But you need competition to show why he's champ.
Yeah, but then again, Randy Orton didn't get much title matches when he was versus the legends in his time, like Mick Foley and stuff. When he retained his titles when he was a heel, and he didn't get much. So that's what I think. I think that WWE is trying to build Cody Rhodes as a new Randy Orton, some sort.
I guess. Well, that was the Elimination Chamber 2012. What do you give the show?
I think I'd give it a B minus or a C plus. It was alright, I guess.
I give it a C plus. It wasn't like, oh my gosh show. It wasn't. But then again, it wasn't like, wow, this is a waste.
It wasn't a waste.
It wasn't a waste of my time. Not at all. I was hooked the whole time. Not too hooked, but like by the very end, I was like, oh, cool, kind of get it over. But then once Big Show started doing more stuff, it was a good show, I guess. I'm not gonna bash it. It's pretty good.
I guess, but the only boring part about it is that it was all title retains. Usually, you want something
different, but then again, you do be surprised because the whole time they were advertising like, oh, well, they're guaranteed to lose, basically.
Yeah.
And then they retained it, so it makes you think. You think, oh, he's gonna lose it. Who's gonna lose it to? And you think Sheamus. That was the importance of the Elimination Chamber. It sets what's gonna happen in WrestleMania. We never know. Anything can happen during the road.
Yeah.
Something could happen.
Well, another thing to add on, that CM Punk was the fourth person to retain his title in an Elimination Chamber match, and Daniel Bryan was the fifth person then. So that's
it doesn't matter.
They're just adding on.
I don't think it matters really, but I think that's pretty cool. The Elimination Chamber is starting to was getting facts that it was like, oh, guaranteed to lose. It kind of that was kind of a little draw. That was a little draw if you think about it. It made you want to watch and be like, oh, well, who's gonna win out of all these 6 people? And then the Cinderella story with Santino. it passes. If Randy Orton was there, I'm sure he would have won, and I would have been fine with that.
Okay, so that's our review. Be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you just found this video
If you
anywhere.
want, you guys don't have to, but it would be nice if you guys want to check us out. It's fine. All right, good show.